Okay, this is gonna be take number 2. I had already made a previous video, but I'm just gonna chunk that video. It's a pain in the ass. Well, okay, so what we're doing here is I'm trying to make brackets or hinge where the tire carrier for my bumper is gonna be at. I do have a 01 XJ that I made a bumper for, so I do have videos on that. They're I'm telling you right now, those videos are the welding there is crap. Okay, I don't have a whole lot of practice. I have been practicing like a little bit better since. Okay, so hopefully this comes out a little bit better than those other videos. You know, feel free to crucify me for them. They're crap. Okay, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. So when I built that bumper, I used the pieces of 2x4 1/4-inch steel that I cut out and made into rails that go into the unibody as a one piece. These go straight into the unibody. Well, I had these two pieces left over, and since they are 1/4-inch steel and I had two of them, I needed to have something to mount my hinge to. This is from dirtdogs.com, dirtdogsoffroad.com, sorry. This was the cheapest tire carrier that I could get. It has a 1,500 pound capacity, I believe is what it said. It comes with a bearing that sits in there that rolls out. It's a little bit of a ball bearing and a greasable a grease fitting right here. Okay, so the only problem with this is that this does not attach to this with a nut up here, because you have the fitting up here, you know. So it's a little bit of a challenge to do this, but I do have a plan for it. I plan on welding a chain from onto here, and then eventually welding it onto somewhere here. Okay, future plans. Okay, so this is what I got going on. This is the best that I could set this up so you guys could see what I was trying to explain. This is a 2-inch diameter piece of steel tube. This was, I believe, forget it. Anyways, it's a 2-inch diameter. So I went out and bought a 2-inch hole saw from Milwaukee. This is for the steel, of course. As you can see, it 2 inches, 51 millimeters. And I sat there and I drilled out 2 holes as close as I could get them to this portion. Drilled them this way, drilled it this way. I used an electric drill. Did not use my cordless drill because, you know, it's a lot of steel that it has to go through. Okay, and it made quick work of it. I ended up with these 2 round pieces, which I'll see what I can use them for later. So the idea is that this is about 4.5 inches here, 4.5 inches there, this section. And this other is also about 4.5 inches, total length of about 9 inches. Okay, so this right here fits perfectly on a piece of 2x4 steel. And I'll put this upside down for reference. Okay, this is what this is gonna look like. Okay, I bought this, I think it's a 11 or 12 foot section of 3/16 2x4. I paid like $40 for it. I could have gotten the whole 24 footer for a little bit, maybe around $80 maybe, but I didn't have anything to bring it in. You know, my dad's truck wasn't fit for the job, so, you know, I bought it as best as I could, or brought it in as best as I could, and I've had it sitting in this humidity bullshit for a while, so time to do something with it. Okay, this is going to be carrying a 33-inch spare on a steel bumper 3/16 that's plated out, gusseted and everything. So I'm going to start welding this. I'm going to lay down some beads of 6011, do a root pass right here, and then come again with a 7018. Try to go with a 6011 or 6013 around here on both sides, welded in. And then probably later on come by with another. This is a 3-inch piece of steel, 3/16, a piece of flat bar that I had left over from the bumper. And I'm gonna come back and make a little bit of a gusset right here. Okay, so this is squared up already with my little cheap Harbor Freight welding table, which comes in handy for DIY guys that, you know, not professionals and don't need a whole big welding table. This is pretty neat. The only thing is that this is kind of loose. But enough about that. All right, time to bring out the stick welder and start laying out some welds. Keep you guys posted. Okay, hey, what's up, everybody? Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta apologize. I got a little bit ahead of myself. Well, just a tad, not a whole lot. So about that bumper, or that tire carrier that I'm building, this is a 12-foot 2x4 3/16 steel that I'm gonna be using as part of the carrier. So I got some of my measurements. I'm gonna use about 61 inches in length total from the edge over there to this last line over here, 61 inches. So I went ahead and got my center at 30.5, and I'm gonna go 11 inches off to each side. The plan there is to be able to bend those 11 inches inward and match them to the angles of the bumper. This is more or less maybe about a 40-degree angle, maybe. I'm still gotta use my angle finder, but I prepped those up, have my measurements ready. I know there's gonna be a little bit of a change because of this right here. I kind of went ahead and started marking it more or less where I'm gonna start cutting for both ends and be able to cut this side here, and the tire carrier piece will be able to just sit here, and I'll be able to weld around it, and weld around it, and weld around it. As far as the rest of the hinge goes, the reason I was telling you guys that I got a little bit ahead of myself was because I started welding. So this right here is a 2-inch piece of a solid bar, 2 inches piece of steel, and this piece of shit's solid as a motherfucker. So using my 1/4-inch plate scrap metal that I was going to be using for this mount, I went ahead and welded everything in there. I am having a little bit of trouble with these inner welds, but they're in there, they're penetrating. I am going to give them another pass. They have a first pass with the 6011, and then they have this other pass with the 7018 3/32 rod. I'm running it at about 100 amps more or less. I should probably run it a little bit less cold, or a little bit less hot, I should say. They're coming out pretty okay. They're not the best welds because I still have a little bit of porosity showing through, but overall these are okay. I should make a second pass, a third pass up here, and that should be able to take care of this right here and this portion in the back as well. It's not terrible, but you can see where the 7018 is and the 6011. I know the 6011 is not going to make the prettiest weld in the world either, so you know. As far as the rest of it, same thing. It's got a first pass with the 6011 and then the second pass with the 7018. Yes, on these ones I am gonna find a way to clean this up a little bit better so I can lay down the 7018, do a third pass on the top, and make that a little bit prettier. I don't know what the hell happened here. I forgot exactly what happened. It's been a couple of days since I laid these welds, but this is what it's looking like. Up here, same thing. These ones, I don't think I finished the 7018 pass on these ones, and it also needs a 7018 pass on this, but I think I'm only gonna do one pass, or I might not even do it at all. I think this is good enough for this right here. Drill these holes out. These are 3/8. I'll probably make them bigger to about a 1/2 inch, so that when I come to weld, these is gonna get cut right here, this is gonna get cut right here, and the rest of this is gonna go on to the face of the bumper. This right here still has to be trimmed down, this portion up here on this side, and down here, as you can see, I already made a mark of how I'm gonna go about it. So this is gonna get welded on around the perimeter on the face of the bumper, And then these are actually going to be a little bit extra welds that are going to be in there. Hopefully give it a little bit more reinforcement, and it should be pretty solid. It's still going to have a gusset coming from the top of the bumper, the top face of the bumper, and lay on top of this. Everything comes according to plan, or it might just come up to here and I can do a weld right here. I'm still not sure if it's going to be a 3/16 or a 1/4 inch plate that I'm going to be using for that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 3/16, but this is also, since it's got that gap in there, it's going to take forever. It's going to be actually pretty stupid if I try to weld that. The gap's pretty significant. You will be able to see through and through. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll probably do a piece of 1 inch flat bar and weld it onto here. Once this is welded on there, I'll be able to weld this portion right here and weld this portion right here, and it'll be able to cover all of this up. So this is more or less what's going on, guys. I hope I'll be able to do a better job than I did with the rest of the bumper and the welds, of course. I'll keep you guys posted.